When we left you on the last episode, we had found an incredible campsite close to a lake in the Ocala National Forest. The next morning, we woke up, hung around camp for a little while, and then got back on the trail. We've had pretty good weather along the trip so far, and it looked like today wasn't going to be any different. As a matter of fact, it looked like it was going to be better. We've been in Florida for several days at this point, and we just couldn't get over the landscape. The way the Spanish moss hung off the live oak trees was just really cool. At this point, we started realizing that the trail was a little different than it had been in the past. We were starting to see a lot more of the soft sand.
These trails are just really, really cool. It's fun back in here.
It's soft right here too.
Yeah.
I think it stopped. I was trying to record it.
Don't feel bad, Nancy. I had to go to 4-wheel too.
Well, this sand is not impassable at all. You definitely do need four-wheel drive, some ground clearance, and lower tire pressure would probably help too. And as you heard on the radio, everybody was having a great time in this sugar stand. Continuing north, we started seeing icons for mud and water. So far, things have been pretty dry, but we were looking forward to seeing what was coming. And as we got to the first mud hole, it was in fact pretty dry. This was the one with the big mud splat on the map.
This is marked as a big old mud hole.
As we made around the curve to the next icon on the map, we found that this water hole wasn't quite so dry. Looks like we got a stuck one down here.
Yeah, we'll be going around that.
We put ourselves in position to help if they needed it, but it looked like they had a plan. This would have been a perfect opportunity to use a kinetic rope instead of just a tow strap. A kinetic rope would give you a little bit more of a rubber band effect rather than having that sudden shock load.
Keep getting.
In this case, the shock load didn't break anything and they were able to get their buddy out.
Cool.
One of you bigger ones will come out here and get it. I was going to let you do what you was going to do, and then I was going to offer to help, but it's more cylinders working good. There you go.
After a short chat, we were on our way and decided to go around where they had been stuck. That one wasn't the only one holding water on this trail. This one didn't look like it had a whole lot of water in it, but it was definitely a little thicker than what I had planned on.
That was deep. Go that way. Yeah, the tire is mud. The spare tire was in the...
I'll probably
Yeah.
high center because y'all are higher than me.
Yeah, the spare tire was in the mud.
This section of trail was definitely the muddiest that we had seen in the last couple of days, especially since we had gotten out of the swamp in the Ocala National Forest. Dodging a few mud holes, apparently we worked up an appetite, so we stopped for lunch. Did I mention what a nice day it was? After a quick bite to eat, it was back to more semi-dried up mud holes. In addition to the mud holes, we had started finding a couple places where water had ran and created a ditch or a little bit of a washout and an off-camber situation. While this wasn't anything that was super difficult or wasn't doable, it was definitely a good contrast compared to the flat stuff that we had been on.
That kind of felt a little bad. It got a little close. 20 degrees.
20. Yeah. 20 degrees.
Which means we still had 4 or 5 more degrees before we really started to worry a little bit.
As we drove deeper into the forest and trying to decide where to set up camp, we noticed this prescribed burn. We went up, made sure that it wasn't going to be close to an area that we were going to camp at, and then picked a spot out along Hopkins Prairie.
Right here, that's wide open. I'll pull off in here, Bill, if you want to run down and check on down.
There are multiple campsites along Hopkins Prairie, but we wanted to try to find one where we could get to water and set up a shower for the evening.
Are you guys going to check out another camp?
Yeah, if you want to, Joe, just hang out there and we'll be right back. We're going to run down here and see if we can get a little better access to water.
All right, gotcha.
This is pretty through here, isn't it?
We were lucky enough to find a great place down next to a canoe launch. This was going to be the perfect place to set up our Joolca, have a nice hot shower, and enjoy the rest of the evening before we all made our long trip back home. Hopkins Prairie is definitely a beautiful area, and it was a perfect place for us to have our last night camp. This place looks a lot more like you're in an African safari than you are in the United States.
What are you cooking us? Steak. Some potatoes look good.
Do you have any seasoning? I have pepper and salt. I don't
Yeah.
have any, so.
Let me get.
We're gonna have chicken tacos and then maybe a chicken taco salad.
Yummy. All right. What you having, Teddy?
Chicken tacos and bacon wrapped steak tacos.
What you cooking, Joe?
I got chicken soup and some baked beans
Oh, yummy.
over here in the with the red light.
After everybody had a shower and a great meal, we sat around one last fire on a gorgeous winter Florida night. The next morning, we spent a little bit of extra time around camp before we all went our separate ways heading home. We had a great time along the Florida Adventure Trail, and we can't wait to get back down there to finish it up. We have had a wonderful week of hanging out with old friends and making new ones. And until next time, see ya.